Hi everyone, I'm Sarah at Childhood Finds. Thank you for joining me today. And I'm a little late on my what sold video. I had a hectic weekend. I did one of my other side jobs I do from time to time. And it was working a gun show for 3 days. And so they were very, very, very long days. And I was exhausted, so I just didn't have time and the oomph in me to get to it this weekend. But I'm getting more back into routine. I will say my sales last week still weren't, I'm not going to be showing you anything super duper impressive as has been the usual the past few videos, but it's getting better. So the consistency is improving. So even though my sales aren't where they need to be, it's improving. And that's really all I can ask for. I'm making sales every day now, and I feel like if I just keep doing what I need to do, it'll keep building on that. So I'm just gonna keep doing consistency, and I feel like that'll make all the difference. And we'll see. You'll hear from me in a few videos if it did. And next week, or for the next What Sold video, I will be doing what was my take home pay again, how much I actually made off of each sale. Even if my sales are horrible, I will do it just for the reality. And that's why I keep doing these what sold videos, even though they aren't filled with super impressive things to share with you, because I'm just showing you again reality of reselling and life, that sometimes sales are just a little bit slower, or you have hiccups in your life that keep you from doing all the things you need to do. I am happy to say that I almost did hit my goals of last week for listing and listing values, which is the first time I've almost hit that in a month and a half to 2 months. I think 2 months now. So I'm so excited about that. And I am going to hit it this week. I just didn't last week because I had to work for the other job for those 3 days. The other thing I wanted to quickly mention before we get started into our what sold is, if you are a reseller and you want to share some of your big money finds, there is a Facebook group called it's bolobuddies, Thrifters Unite, Resellers and Thrifters Unite. I'm going to get it mixed up in my head, but I'm putting it up right here. If you can join this group, then there are posts that look like this, where you can share the big money items that you find. And then bolobuddies, she shares those on a video. So it's really awesome, the videos, because it gives you a whole bunch of different items from different people, from different walks of life, from different parts of the country. And it makes a difference, because the things that I find here in Nevada aren't going to be the same that someone might find in Arkansas or Idaho. It's just all going to be a little bit different. So I think that's something that can be really valuable to check out. So if you ever want to share one of yours, check out those posts and just follow the directions in the post to share what you like to, or share the item that you're going to want shown. And then if you don't resell or anything like that, then you can always just check out bolobuddies. I will link her in the description so that you can find her easily. And past that, now let's go ahead and get started. And just to share again about bolobuddies, is she's helped me a ton, so it's definitely worth the time to check it out. Check her channel out and check the Facebook group out. And she helped me a ton on YouTube. So a lot of you already probably know about her because you came from her to me, but some of you may not. So let's go ahead and get started on our what solds. And as always, please share with me your favorite sale that you had this week, if you're a reseller, or the favorite item you found this week to resell. Or if you don't do either, share with me if you liked any of the ones I had. So let's go ahead and get started with the sales. So as I mentioned before, I don't have a ton of sales to share with you, just because, again, I'm still building back up from my kind of hiatus. And what we're gonna first start with is a tried and true, one that you guys have seen 100 times, but again, I'm sharing it because they consistently sell when I get them. Or excuse me, I think I might be getting sick, so if my voice starts to sound funny or I cough or sneeze, that is why. So this is an antique Victorian walnut deep well oval frame with fashion print. Fits 8 by 10. It sold for my sale price of $40.45. This came from my big frame buy, so about $3 into it. This guy took a while to sell, but I paid $25 for him at a yard sale last summer. I think in the June, July area. And it's a vintage 1983 Kenner Care Bears bedtime bear stuffed blue moon sleep plush toy, 6 inches, and again, $9.50 it sold for. This, my mother-in-law helped pick up at a rummage sale in October, and it's been listed for a few months since then because it took me a while to get it listed, or I think it's only been listed less than a month actually. It just sat in the death pile because it was tall and I didn't want to deal with it. And it's a BMW padded summer motorcycle riding suit size XL with removable liner, gray, black. Sold for the sale price of $107.96. I got really sweet feedback from the buyer already, so I'm really excited about that. But it was $2 at the rummage sale because we paid $1 for the outer and the $1 for the inner part of it. But this is a sign, guys, to go through your death pile and list it. You know, you got to get through it someday because this was sitting there for a couple months. This has been listed probably 1.5 to 2 years. I don't know why unicorns don't do well. I'm always surprised. I always feel like unicorns would do well, but they don't. At least not for me. They take a long time to sell. And this is a 6.5-inch brass unicorn on base animal fantasy mythical figurine statue, sold for the sale price of $16.16. And I don't know where I got this, but I wouldn't have paid more than $1 or $2. This is an Emil Kraepelin Lectures on Clinical Psychiatry Medicine Classics 1985. It sold for the sale price of $22.45. I picked this up at a Salvation Army and I paid 50 cents for it, and it took a couple months to sell. Flatware is just saving me these past few weeks. And this is Oneida USA Unity Stainless Dinner Fork Flatware set of 4 replacements. Sold for $21 on an offer, I believe. And again, about 20 cents into each piece, 15 to 20 cents into each piece. And yeah, I don't mean to keep pushing flatware down your guys' throats. It's just what has been selling for me because it's what I've been able to find recently. You'll see that if you're a reseller, as you go through phases of stuff. You'll just end up finding all the same thing at once. And that's what I've been finding, which I'm happy with. I could list flatware every day and just be a happy little camper. And here's a green chartreuse Liz Claiborne purse with matching wallet and accessories. It was practically brand new. I didn't list it as new. It's still used to me because it doesn't have tags. I bought it from a yard sale, but it looked amazing. And it sold for the sale price of $29.66. My mother-in-law picked this up for $1 at a yard sale. And it took, I don't know, maybe 5 to 6 months to sell. This picked up pretty recently at an estate sale, and it's a hand-tooled belt, size 42, made USA, brown, genuine cowhide leather, Western country. Sold for a best offer of $22 and paid $1 for it. These, I'm surprised that they sell so well. Some of them, I probably could have sold them separately and made a little more money. I probably also could have waited longer and made more money, but I was just trying to get sales. You know, I'm just trying to build back up. But these little ring box jewelry holders, they sell pretty well, guys. Look them up. It's amazing to me that these 2 little things sold for best offer of $35. I think we picked these up for probably $0.25 a piece. I mean, you know, practically nothing because most people would huck them out. But they're Art Deco style ring box jewelry holders, presentation, vintage, lot of 2. Sold for $35. And they sold quickly for that as well. And this has been listed for a fair amount of time, but it's a pretty modern frame. And it sold for $14, and we paid $1 for this at a thrift store. And it's a gold tone stand-up frame, galoche enamel rhinestones, 3x3 photo size. So really, it's a modern frame. It's not anything super special, but that enamel is definitely what gets it. And I pick up frames if they're cheap that have that, because even though they take a while to sell, they do sell. And this, I had a really sweet message from a buyer about how this was their childhood lion. And it's a 1985 Deacon male lion plush stuffed animal, 18-inch realistic vintage mane. Sold for the sale price of $16.16. And I believe I paid $2.99 at a thrift store for it. And it sold relatively quickly. This item actually came from, there was a viewer that she was moving and she didn't want to just give away her stuff to a thrift store, so she was really kind, and on her way to her new adventure, she brought me stuff that she wasn't going to resell, or that was just too bulky for her to resell and take on to the rest of her journey. So she was really kind to drop off some stuff with me. So I have a few items from her in this video. And this is a hanging sweetgrass basket, handmade, woven, wall pocket decor, vintage reed. It sold for a best offer of $20. I ended up taking that because it did have some condition issues. It was still a very nice piece. It just had a little bit of condition issues on it. So I just made that clear in a lot of the pictures. But $20 is still nothing to sneeze at, guys. I will happily sell $10 and $20 items, you know, if they're relatively easy to pack. This was also from her, and it's a Royal Holland, oh no, not skip, amber glass pewter decanter bottle with stopper, vintage, sold for the asking price of $15.95. And this is why I do want to get a video out on how I price items, because this is an item that doesn't have a very good sell-through rate. Even though it's a really cool item, it doesn't have a perfect sale, a really good sell-through. So you have to kind of price aggressively. I didn't price way under anybody because I don't want to be the person that's bringing the price to the bottom. So I just kind of, you just have to do a little bit of research. So I'll try to do a video about that and how I price items that don't have great sell-throughs so that I can get them to sell. And so this sold for the $15.95, and it sold within a week too, which was really great for an item that only a few sell every 90 days. This is a Folkmanis puppet jackrabbit plush bunny hair hand puppet full body realistic. I paid $1 for this at a Salvation Army. It took a couple months to sell for $20. Here's more flatware, and it's International Deluxe Danish Scroll dinner fork set of 5 flatware, and it sold for a best offer of $50 for 5 forks. I mean, guys, $10 a fork. Yeah, I will happily do flatware constantly. When you can get $10 a piece, that's amazing. And this is Fun Fur Lion brand eyelash yarn confetti skeins multicolor lot of 4 new, sold for a best offer of $12. I picked these up in like craft bags at a thrift store. So I was about 50 cents into each skein, so about $2 into this lot, and it took a week or 2 to sell. These I've had quite a while. I paid $7.50 for them at a yard sale. I think they've probably taken at least 6 months to sell. And it's Mr. Potato Head Three Stooges figure play set. Larry, Moe, Curly, 2011, and there's boxware. And it sold for the full asking though of $36.95. These I've had listed for quite a long time. I probably picked them up at a yard sale for 50 cents. I have a recollection of that. I don't mind that this jewelry, again, takes forever to sell. I believe I took a best offer of $8.95 for these. That's fine when you pay like 50 cents and they're this big. So I do not mind waiting or selling things this cheap, because I still make money on it, because it doesn't take a lot of time to pack, list, or ship it. And they're Laura Scott vintage earrings, turquoise chip, enamel, fan shaped. And yeah, they're on their way to their new home. This I picked up at a yard sale for $2 last year, around October, and this has probably been listed 3 or 4 months. And it's a Fitz & Floyd's Ramsey's Table Lighter 1977 vintage gold tone multicolor untested. And it sold for the full asking price of $29.95. And I knew it was what it was because it did tell me on the bottom, which always helps. And a little bit more silverware because I can't help it. I believe these sold on a best offer of $24 or $25, and I just picked these up at a thrift store last week, so they only took less than a week to sell, and I paid $1 for this whole lot. And they're Hampton Silversmiths flatware, Monument 6 3/4 inch teaspoons, stainless ribbed, 5 of them. And last but not least, I do love the Raggedy Ann, and Andy's picking them up. I don't pick up the homemade ones anymore though, because they take a century to sell. They have a very, very long sell-through rate. And I'm sure if there was really nice ones, I might consider it and cheap, but they do take a very, very long time to sell, the handmade ones. But these ones were 1960s Knickerbocker, Raggedy Ann and Andy dolls, 16 inches, lot of 2. And I finally took a best offer of $39 because these have been listed for probably at least a year. I can tell by the setup, probably at least a year. So that's all I have to share with you today, guys. It's a short and sweet video. I will be doing the how much my take-home pay is next week, and I'll try to see if I can get another video out this week. If not, I'll do 2 videos next week. So as always, thank you again for joining me, and I'll see you on the next one.